Guru Nation, somebody asked me to do something for the first time. Actually, check out their post. It would be grateful if you read your opinion about my post regarding CRA job interviews. So let me just read it. As a job seeker, I view the challenges surrounding job searches and interviews from my own perspective. There are numerous articles encouraging applicants to prepare for interviews and formulate answers to common questions. However, after some reflection, I want to shift my perspective and imagine what an interview could look like if I, as a candidate, took the initiative, especially in the discussions with the operational managers who are the direct supervisors of the CRA. Team managers receive dozens of filtered applications from recruiters, which often contain similar cliches and standardized phrases tailored to the company's mission and values. The resume is often the only source of information about the candidate and typically includes only general tasks and classic skills, sometimes supplemented by real-life examples. For team manager, this often insufficient to gain a comprehensive picture. They have to wait until the interview to find this out. As a candidate, I'm aware of my own strengths and weaknesses. A standardized CRA job description does not reflect what the team actually needs at a given time or which experiences and skills are required. Only the team leader or manager can articulate this precisely, but it is often not captured in the job descriptions. One advantage for me as a candidate is the opportunity to prepare thoroughly and gather comprehensive information about the position. I analyze the specific needs of the company by not only reading the job description for the CRA position, but also looking at the postings for related roles within the team to better understand the team structure. It is important for me to emphasize that I do not investigate the company's needs to adjust my answers. Authenticity is crucial. Another aspect that stands out to me is that the job descriptions of different companies are often very similar. The values and missions of the companies are frequently comparable as well. Integrity, inclusion, diversity, and work-life balance are common buzzwords. Despite the fact that the same job description is used year after year, CRAs with the same qualifications are never hired. Their requirements and necessary qualifications within a team change continuously, while the job descriptions often remain unchanged. This results in the actual needs of the team and the specific challenges that a new CRA should address being inadequately represented in the standardized descriptions. In the interview, I would set aside the job description and resume. The team leader has a clear idea of what is needed and what they can offer. In this context, I would openly explain what I can do well and where I see room for improvement. This way, both sides can weigh the potential gains and losses and jointly decide whether the collaboration makes sense. And this is, in theory, what is supposed to happen. Now it's my opinion. That was a long post. It's my opinion on this. So I think it's good what you're after. I think tying in holistically, really researching that company well. And that means LinkedIn stalking, if it's possible. Find out that it's harder at CROs because the CROs are gigantic and the whole thing is research. So it's hard to find like who, unless you already know the therapeutic area, it's hard to find who you need to talk to from a CRO. From a biotech or sponsor, it's a little bit easier. So good luck trying to actually find the team manager. I guess you can try to guess who they are. Ultimately, you kind of have to go the route of the recruiters, which is unfortunate, but my opinion is the cream rises to the top, and everyone who blames the algorithms for not favoring their resume, they need to be introspective about it and really look at their resumes. And what I think people need to do is study the companies and adjust their resumes accordingly, like reverse engineer the resumes to the job descriptions. And I know to your point, the job descriptions are very vague, but if you take a deep dive into that role, and you also look, like you said, at the ancillary roles that are not the ones you're applying for, but it also gives you a holistic view of what that company is dealing with. I think you are clearly head and shoulders above the crowd. Work-life balance and all these buzzwords not going to do you any good. You're not going to stand out there. Figuring out like this is a little bit easier to do with like a smaller biotech, the values and the authenticity that you bring, if it's a good match. You don't want to be in a company where the company values are not similar to your own, but the specific needs of the company by looking at other postings related to that company, I think is smart. And if you can take it a step further and find these individuals on LinkedIn, and message them, say, hey, you know what? I saw this job listing. I know I'm supposed to go through a recruiter, but I just wanted to share a little bit of information about me, and I will still go through the recruiter, but here's my resume for you as well. I think it's good. And I think sometimes, like the cream rises to the top, and sometimes that'll actually work. Sometimes that person, it's just like a site getting a study. It's no different. We're supposed to go through a CRO to get a study, right? Lately, it's kind of changing. The sponsors are taking more of an initiative, but we're supposed to go normally through a CRO. I've approached many sponsors before where they said, yeah, this is supposed to go through our CRO, but let me introduce you to that person. And when you get introduced to that person by the sponsor, to the CRO or to the person in charge of site selection, they put you in there because you're coming from the boss. You're coming from the person paying the bill. You need to do your homework. Like most people don't want to do the homework. The human algorithm is a very simple algorithm. We are very simply programmed. All of us share in these in this simple program. It's basically our instinct. It's maximize pleasure and minimize pain. So you have to work against your instinct, and that's where you're getting into the realm of pulling off the miraculous. And this is where creativity comes in, and this is where the act of creation comes in. You have to do what others don't do because others are trying to minimize pain while maximizing pleasure. And you're going to try to maximize your pain while minimizing pleasure, basically meaning you're going to research the hell out of that company and figure out everything you can possibly know about them so that you can put your best foot forward when you apply and you hope that you get noticed. And you have to do this enough times in a job market like we are in today to where that's going to pay off. But ultimately, that's what pays off. Ultimately, the cream rises to the top. Like, subscribe, comment, share. Let me know what you think about this Guru Nation. Bye bye.